Good morning and a very warm welcome to a whole new episode of Meet My Gems, an innovative and interactive approach to learning conducted by our respected sir, Dr. Prem Kumar Agarwal. So, first, a small introduction about the creator of the idea. Dr. Prem Kumar Agarwal has pursued his LLB, LLM, and PhD from the University of Burdwan, West Bengal. He is also an alumnus of the St. Xavier's College and School, a former judge under the Judicature of Honorable Calcutta High Court, and a founder faculty of West Bengal National University Juridical Sciences, Kolkata. He is presently serving as the head of the PG Department Law Section in the Heritage Institution, Modern College, a 184-year-old temple of learning, alma mater to illustrious alumni like Rishi Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay and Upendra Brahmachari, who was the inventor of Kalajor vaccine, and many others. As a strong advocate of human rights and civil liberties, also visited Sweden as a cultural ambassador and delivered a series of lectures on cultural, political, and legal system of India under the prestigious group study exchange program of Rotary International. As a past district Rotaract representative himself, Dr. Agarwal has also addressed various youth conventions in Singapore, London, and besides places in India. One of West Bengal juridical examination, the passion for teaching guided him to resign from the judicial services and join the noble profession of making this society a better place by imparting knowledge. In this process, he has also authored a number of books which range from intellectual property rights to limitation law, company law to environment. He is also visiting faculty for the National Judicial of Honorable Supreme Court, State Judicial Academy of Honorable High Court of Calcutta, State Police Academy, and Administrative Academy. I am sure that people from various fields related to law have benefited from Sir's knowledge of law and other fields of public services. His teachings have inspired and changed the life of numerous students who got to understand the very essence of law and its potential. There is a saying, better than 1,000 days of diligent study is one day with great teacher. And Sir Dr. Prem Kumar Agarwal is that teacher. Now I would like to call Sir to enlighten us on the objective of arranging this kind of helpful interactive session. Sir.
Th- Thank you, Shreyashi, for your generous introduction. Welcome, Shoto. Shotobroto
Thank you so
Nag
much.
is today's gem. Today's gem, who is uh, who is an assistant public prosecutor after clearing the Public Service Commission West Bengal examination for prosecution services. Shreyashi will try to reveal the secret of success of Shottobroto Nag, who secured a top rank in the prosecution service examination. And through this interaction, the knowledge which will be generated and revealed, the tips and the tricks which Shottobroto followed in order to clear this examination to establish himself as one of the assistant public prosecutors in the magistrate courts in West Bengal, we, I'm sure, will help the aspirants. And in the series of Meet My Gems, today we are beginning with the assistant public prosecutors, and Shottobroto is the first gem in this series of gem, which will feature the APPs, the assistant public prosecutors of West Bengal. Shreyoshi, you may begin now.
Sir, we are delighted to have you on board in this session. With your kind permission, I would like to request Sir Shotobrata Nag to share some of his experience of the journey to become a successful assistant public prosecutor. But before that, I would like to introduce Sir Nag to our viewers. Sir Nag did his BLLB from Surendranath Law College in the year 2009 and joined services in May 2017. He is presently the Assistant Public Prosecutor at the Learned Third Judicial Magistrate Court, Chandanagar, Hooghly. His first posting was at the Learned Second Judicial Magistrate Court at Murshidabad and second posting at the Judicial Magistrate Court, Noida. Sir, we welcome you to this episode of Meet My Gems. Now we
Thank
proceed
you so
to the
much.
questions. Thank you, sir. Now we proceed to the questions that I would be asking on behalf of all the aspirants who are aiming to crack the coveted Public Service Commission exam of West Bengal. Sir,
Sure.
my first question to you is regarding your experience at the Judicial Magistrate Court at Chandanagar. How is your experience and how does it feel to hold such an important position?
It's a privilege for me to serve people, to get justice, and I interact with many people, testify many people in the docks on the dock of the court, as well as I interact with people. I try to know their demeanor, their status in the society, and everything. People who come to get justice, and if I can give justice to people, then if I can help them, serve them to get justice, then I would be very satisfied. I joined the service at Baharampur first, in Mushirabad. It was a majestic experience because there were a lot of cases in Baharampur. There were a lot of cases in Baharampur, and Baharampur is a place where the types and varieties of cases are a lot. And then I came to theatre, but whatever I learned in during prosecution service, I learned from Behrampur because I had a very hearty colleague there, a very learned colleague, senior colleague of mine, who taught me how to conduct the prosecution in the magistrate courts for the first 1 or 2 days. Then another colleague of mine who was posted in CGM Behrampur court, learned CGM Behrampur court, he helped me. He showed me how to conduct the police files in the CGM courts. And in CGM court of Behrampur there are a lot of cases in CGM court Behrampur. Police file is a lengthy police file in Behrampur. Now I am posted at Chandan Nagar. Now Chandan Nagar is also a wonderful court. It's a very wonderful court, and I like to conduct prosecution here. It's a privilege for me, whatever I can say. The more I can say, it's a privilege for me.
That sounds like an exciting journey, sir. So, what
Yes, sir.
inspired you to write the Public Service Commission exam? Was it some incident or some person?
No, actually, it's not an inspiration. Actually, what has happened, I used to mix when I was to practice in Kalyani Court before joining the service. I used to practice at Kalyani Court, and during my practice days, I used to mix up with assistant public prosecutors posted there at Kalyani. I used to talk to them. I used to converse with them on the topics of education of assistant public prosecutor or the syllabus of the assistant public prosecutor's examinations. Even they were preparing for higher judicial service during that time. I know few of them. So I used to mingle with them too much. Rather than mingling with the defense lawyers, I used to mingle with them a lot. And that inspired me a lot to prepare for the assistant public prosecutor's examination. Now, it came all of a sudden because I was preparing for judicial service. In fact, I ranked 50 in the year 2010 in judicial service. But I was not eligible. I was not an eligible candidate for that to join the service because my rank was much behind. It was 50. After that, I thought of sitting for the judicial service. Then I made up a mind. I made up in my mind that in 2014 I'll be preparing for assistant public prosecutor's examination, and I'll have to get the job.
So, drawing from what you just said, we all have heard that a good teacher explains, but a good teacher inspires. So, in that
Yes.
context, tell us the role of your mentor in your journey.
It was a very important role. Oh, there are two mentors in my life, I will say. One is Agarwal sir. Another person, he is an elderly person. He is a tutor of my father who lives next to my house only. He was the first person to advise my father to join LLB course. Otherwise, I would have shifted myself to the science course because I passed ISC class 12 with science subjects. I would have joined the engineering stream or elsewhere with science. And even I thought of getting admitted to college, presidency college with chemistry honors. But he was the man who told me to join uh, the LLB course, PLB. And I joined there. And he used to encourage me to join the service to write for different examination, competitive service examinations, and to practice in the courts. He used to advise me. Later, in the year 2013, at the end of 2013, one of my friend gave me address of Agarwal sir. I called sir one day. I phoned sir up, and on the very first day of joining, the way sir questioned me, and I was able to answer 2 or 3 questions. It encouraged me a lot. Sir used to question, which encouraged me a lot to study. Actually, I'm very gladly saying that I'm very thankful to sir that today I'm here. I have been successful to join my service and successful in my dream. It is the great support of Agarwal sir. I will be very much thankful. Again, I'm saying I'm very much thankful to him that he has helped me a lot. And even I became a little frustrated by not getting the job because I was trying a lot. In fact, I sat only for 2 examinations, one for judicial service and for APP. And the APP I have cracked successfully, ranking 6th. And I used to ask sir, will I be able to crack? Sir said, yes, you will definitely. Sir said, why are you not thinking of joining judicial service? I said, sir, I mix with APPs all around in Kalyani Court. So I am very much fascinated to this job. So sir said, okay, you are very much fascinated to this job. You will definitely crack. Sir told me many times. Sir told me that is to encourage me. That is to give me positive thoughts and vibes in my mind. Now this positivity, this positive energy that sir has inculcated in me, that has helped me a lot.
So can you throw some light on the scheme
Now,
and syllabus
I
for
want to
me?
tell you one thing. Again, I want to tell you
Sure, sir.
one thing
Sure.
on the previous topic.
Yes, sir.
Now, the aspirants who are thinking to write the examinations or who are thinking to sit for the APP examinations, they I don't know their individual capabilities. Their people to people they vary. The capabilities vary people to people. But from my opinion, one requires a good teacher because a teacher not only teaches the subjects. See, we have been learning law from our college life. There was nothing new to learn, but the explanation, the interpretation, the case laws, the positive encouragement that sir gave, these are the various aspects of success. Now we have to get an environment to get success.
Yes, sir.
And a teacher like Agarwal sir, now I have been very much encouraged and very much encouraged by him that so much I cannot explain in my language. I'm very much thankful to him.
So, sir, moving on to the next question.
Sure.
Sir, we want you to tell us something about the scheme and syllabus of the exam.
Now the scheme of the exam is that the written examination is conducted. It's a direct written examination. There is no screening test or the first word to tell you the screening test that goes on in judicial service we have. There is
Preliminary.
no preliminary. There is no preliminary test or screening test in case of APP examinations, and the examination is held on 400 marks. The first paper comprises of criminal procedure code 50 marks, paper 1, criminal procedure code 50 marks, Indian penal code 50 marks. This is paper 1. To paper 2 we have Constitution of India 20 marks and Indian Evidence Act 80 marks in paper 2. Shall I mention again?
No, sir, I have it written.
And in paper 3 we have civil laws. In civil laws we have some land laws like the West Bengal Land Reforms Act, the CPC, and these the civil laws consists of only 30 marks. It bears 30 marks, and criminal rules and civil laws 70 marks.
Okay.
I beg pardon, civil laws 70 marks and criminal rules and orders 30 marks. And paper 4 we have the minor acts. This is a very important paper in case of very important to crack at least a assistant public prosecutor's examination. This paper 4, because this is a very pivotal paper, I'll say. In this paper we have at least at about 14 minor acts like the Indian Explosives Act, Explosive Substances Act, West Bengal Panchayat Act, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, Bengal Excise Act, Dowry Prohibition Act, Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act, Police Regulations Calcutta, Police Regulations Bengal, West Bengal Municipal Act, Child Marriage Restraint Act, Indian Arms Act, Essential Commodities Act, Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act, which is called the NDPS Act. There are 14 minor acts altogether in paper 4, and we have 100 marks in the Viva voce. In interview, we have 100 marks. That means altogether, the test is conducted, the examination is conducted in 500 marks. It's conducted upon 500 marks. Now, basically, I like to say about the syllabus that one has to prepare in the way one has to prepare is that one has to study thoroughly the minor acts, very thoroughly, because in practice life, because generally those who are sitting for this examination, we come from 3 years with we come with 3 years experience from practice, from criminal practice, continuous criminal practice, and in our continuous criminal practice, it is very much less practicable that these minor acts, apart from Indian Explosives Acts and Explosive Substances Act. Now I'm speaking of these minor acts like West Bengal Panchayat Act, Dowry Prohibition Act, or Water Prevention and Control Act, Police Regulations Calcutta and Police Regulation Bengal, West Bengal Municipal Act. These are few acts which we come through very seldom in practice life. 4 or 5 acts we come very seldom in our practice life. Now we have to go through the pair acts nicely. And the fourth paper, which consists of 14 minor acts, I already told you in the past that these 14 minor acts play a pivotal role for cracking the examination. Because CRPC, IPC, Constitution of India, Evidence Act, Civil Laws, Criminal Rules and Orders, one will go through fine. Because criminal rules and orders, if one practices in court regularly, he will get a thorough knowledge over that. But these minor acts are very important. We'll have to go very thoroughly through these minor acts. If one has to clear the examination, or if one has to if one has to successfully clear the examination, these minor acts needs to be studied thoroughly. We need to put pressure on criminal procedure code as well as the IPC also. And for this, we have to solve the last 5 years question paper regarding this. Civil law CPC, we have only the sections of CPC, not the entire CPC. We don't have the entire CPC. We have only the sections of the CPC, 115 sections that we have. Only the sections of the CPC are there. We don't have to go to the entire CPC. But still, some questions that arrive in the during the examination, we say that we don't have to go to the entire CPC, but practically we have to go through the entire CPC to crack the exams. And a very tough paper is the West Bengal Land Reforms Act, with the last 5 years question paper from sir's previous student, from an ex-student of sir. So I took this question papers, and it is very important to mention that to solve the last 5 years question paper, it is very important, because during the solving of the question paper from 1 to 10 or 1 to 20 of each single paper, from paper 1 to paper 4, you'll have to go through the book thoroughly. One has to go through the book very thoroughly in order to solve the questions, because we have to search the book, the entire book. Where is the question? Where is the law? Now, during the searching of the book, we get to find many other things, which is very important, which comes to our mind, which comes to our knowledge. Automatically, which comes to our knowledge, then we can put a mark on that page. We put a bookmark, or we put a page mark, or we underline in, with a pen those important portions, which we go through while searching the questions. And it takes a lot of time. Now, when one searches the questions or tries to solve the last 5 years questions, at least for few hours, if one dedicate few hours for solving those 5 years questions, I'm sure I can surely tell you that one will go through the entire, one will have to go through the entire book, or will have to go through the entire subject during the searching of the question, then the book will automatically come to his knowledge. And it is very important. It is very important that I'll mention again. Then, after solving the questions, a vivid knowledge will come to our mind, that what are we going to study, and what we need to study, and what we have gone through during the searching of the questions, the last 5 questions, last 5 years questions, as well as I used to form my own questions, and I used to write my answers and show sir that how I have done it. So I used to check the question and answers. I used to sit for tests. I used to study on my own, and used to have some problems which I took to sir, and sir solved the problems during that course. And one thing I want to mention, there is in case of government service, at least I don't think there is any what to tell you, suggestive questions should be studied, or suggestive portion of the book should be studied. I don't think there is a need of that. I think one should study the entire subject thoroughly before writing an examination of a government service, because from where and what kind of question will come, no one knows. Like I'm telling you one thing, in case of paper 4, in case of minor acts that I have studied, now I told you West Bengal Panchayat Act, Municipal Act, we have very seldom cases in courts. In our courts, actually, in the court I was practicing. Now I have gone through the entire act. The act was a thick one. It was a thick act, but I have gone through the entire act because I don't know what kind of question will be coming and who will be making the question. After that, what I've done, I have thoroughly read, thoroughly studied again once or twice. I've revised. I've revised once or twice again. I have started preparing for from 2014. I wrote the examination in 2015. I have started since 1 year ahead. I started since 1 year ahead of writing the examinations. And I have made up in my mind that I'll be sitting for the assistant public prosecutor's examination, and I have to clear it. I will not be sitting for any other examination. I'll have to clear this examination. It is my final destination and a determination. I'll have to clear it now or never. And sir said, it is now or never. So I put it in my mind. It is now or never. I'll have to do it now. I'll never be able to do anything. So I studied in that way. And I told you one thing, that it is very important to solve the last 5 years question. Again, I'm telling. And while solving the question and answers, one will have to go through the entire book. That will provide a vivid picture of the book. Again, I'm saying. It takes a time. We'll have to be very much patient while solving the question. And I have done it very minutely. In minutest details, I can say that I've done it. That's all.
So with this, we come to the next question, which is regarding which books did you refer to? Which were your study materials that you relied upon?
See, I didn't rely upon any kind of notes, because I relied upon sir's lectures that sir used to provide, and the explanations sir used to give. And I used to write my own notes in my house. I used to prepare my own answers, as I told you, and I used to show it to sir. And the books, specifically, I'll tell you, to crack the examinations, one will have to go to the bare acts properly. The first thing and the basic thing is that one will have to go through the bare acts very properly. Now, I told you that while solving the question and answers of the last 5 years, one will have to go to the bare act as well as the texts, because we'll have to search where is the question lies, where is the question is, what is the portion of the question is in the book. Now, while searching, we'll have to go through the bare act first, then the texts. I've gone through the bare act very thoroughly, and especially CRPC, IPC, a thorough knowledge of bare act is required. Constitution of India also, the Indian Evidence Act also, and the other minor acts. In case of minor acts, it is very impracticable to study the textbooks, because it will not be practicably possible to solve all the textbooks. So it is better to read the bare acts, very thoroughly. And in case of CPC, I've gone through CK Takwani CPC, and CRPC and IPC have gone through the Ratanlal Dhirajlal's. And Indian Evidence Act, I've gone through Dr. Krishna Machari's Indian Evidence Act. which was a very easy book, which was written in a very easy and proper, very easy language. Ah, so I've gone through that book, Dr. Krishnamachari's book of Indian Evidence Act. It's a very helpful book to me. It was a very helpful book to me indeed. And in case of constitution, I've gone through D.D. Basu's constitution, the practice edition of the D.D. Basu's constitution I've gone through. And in case of minor acts, I have purchased a set of minor act book. There is a book, the Indian minor acts, the minor acts. I have bought that book, as well as I bought individual bare acts, the Food Adulteration and Prevention Act, and I bought it from College Street. But I have bought the bare acts, and I've studied the bare acts very thoroughly. The questions generally that comes from the in the fourth paper is that it comes about the punishment. They asked about the punishment provided by the act, the term of the punishment provided by the act, and the characteristic features of the act, the aims and objectives of the act. These type of questions do come, and when the act came in force, one will have to study the entire, while studying the bare act, while reading the bare act, one will have to study, one will have to read from the very first line to the last line, and it is very important. I told you again that I'm telling you again, I told you before that we don't know from which part and from which portion the question will come. So we'll have to go through the entire law books, especially the bare acts, thoroughly. And this advice was given to me by Prem Kumar Agarwal sir.
So, how did you prepare for these notes, and what do you think how important it is to practice answers?
It is very important to practice answers. I remember that day when sir told me, I asked sir how to write the answers. Sir said that while you write the answer in an examination paper, you become a teacher, because you are teaching that person who is checking your question paper. The invigilator who will be checking my answer paper, he will have to understand my language. He'll have to understand that how I am writing or what I want to explain to him. Sir said that this is very important, that one have to become a good teacher while writing, because the person, the invigilator will be checking my copy or my answer paper. He will have to understand my points, and I'll have to make him understand. In that way, I have prepared, I have written answers, I've solved the 5 years questions. I used to write the answers of the questions, and I used to purchase different books, different question answer books available in the market, like Allahabad Law Series and all. But I didn't see the answers. I only took the question and I used to write my own answer and show it to sir. Sir used to check it. That is how I did. I
And so,
didn't follow
regarding
that
notes,
Allahabad series law books and all law books are there, no ready-made law books. That question and answers are available there. I used to take the question only and write my own answer. I used to prepare my own answer. I never took up the answer that they have written, because that is a ready-made answer. So what I am preparing for my brain, I took up sir's advice in every step.
and so regarding preparing of notes, like how did you go about it?
Regarding preparing a note, I have studied I told you I studied the bare act very thoroughly, the text very thoroughly. After that, I bought the books of Allahabad Law Series, Rachna Law Series, and all those books. I used to write the question from that book. Okay. Then I used to search the topic from the text, or as well as from the bare act. Then I used to write my answer in a note form. After writing 5 to 6 or 10 answers, I used to show it to sir. Sir, is this right? Then if sir said yes, it's right, then I used to again try for the next chapter or the next subject. In this way I used to do.
So, sir, how much time do you think one needs to devote to prepare for this exam? And what was your daily routine like?
It depends upon it depends from person to person that how much time one will take. I cannot sit more than half an hour in a single place. Okay, I'm a very restless person. It is a fact. So uh, I used to study in an average in a day at around 4.5 hours, but intermittently, not at a time. It will not be possible for me to sit at a fixed place for a long time, more than half an hour. So I used to follow a daily routine as usual. I do. Okay, I used to play games. I used to go to my court. I used to conduct cases in my court because I was a practitioner at court. I was a regular practitioner, in fact, at court, at Kalyani Court. I had many cases also during my practice life. Uh, After coming from court, I used to sit for studies. I used to sit for studies at around 7 o'clock, and I got up for my studies at about 9 o'clock, 9:30. And when I used to sit, and when during the holidays, when I used to be in my home, uh, I used to study in the morning also, from 9 o'clock to 11 or 11:30. I used to utilize the time, the morning time. And one thing I'll tell you, during the festival times, festival period, people, there is a tendency of people to roam about and watch many things. The celebrations all around. During the festival time, the persons will have to study can sit silently at home and concentrate in their studies, which I did. During the days of festival, I didn't go out. I chose that time perfect to sit for studies. And to crack examinations, you don't have to sit for 5 or 6 hours. You don't have to sit like that, or 10 hours or 20, 12 hours like that. You can sit in your usual time. But one thing that you will have to do is that you will have to study very attentively. Attention is the most important thing. One have to put a lot of attention while studying. And while solving the question and answers, I told you, one will have to be very attentive. And I promise that if one tries to solve the question and answers, he will be getting attracted towards the subjects. I did get attracted to the subjects while solving the question and answers. It took a lot of time. I can tell you one thing, that while solving one question at least from the last 5 years question and answers, to solve one question, if you don't have knowledge about that subject, it will take at least half an hour to 1 hour to search from the book and to find out the answer. So while searching, you will go through the entire book. You'll have to go through some pages of the book. It will give you a knowledge. It will give you a vivid picture of the book that you have gone through.
So, sir, you already told us about how to approach the minor acts. What I would like to ask is, in addition to the minor acts, what was your strategy to study the criminal rules and orders? Because we usually don't study these subjects in LLB classes, criminal rules and orders. So, how did you go about them?
In case of criminal rules and orders, I have a little bit knowledge because I was a thorough practitioner at Kalyani Court. And if you have a practical knowledge about court, you generally don't have to go thoroughly through the criminal rules and orders, because we know generally that when the court arises or when the court comes down, when we have to give the put up file, when we file the bail petitions, when we have to submit the attendance of the accused persons, we know it. So these are the few things. Then when the summer vacation falls in the court, when the winter vacation starts in the court, we know many things about this in our practical life. During the practice days, we knew it. But in case of going through this, when I have to study this to write the examination, I have gone through the book entirely. I've studied the book. I just read the book thoroughly. I just read the book thoroughly twice. I mentioned I read it twice. And the knowledge that I have bought from my court, I bear from my court, that helped me a lot. Mostly in case of criminal rules and orders, you have to bear a knowledge of practical, you have to bear a practical knowledge of court practicing. If you practice in court, you will have some knowledge of criminal rules and orders. You need not study the book thoroughly, but you have to go through, at least you have to read once or twice. The person who practices in the court, he will definitely have a thorough knowledge on criminal rules and orders. I can assure you.
So it looks like your preparation days has a lot to do with your practice, your litigation days as well. So, sir,
Definitely.
how did you balance all these fears of life. You were preparing for the exam, you were going to the court, and you also had a social life. So, how did you balance your life at that point in time?
At that point of time, I was a rigorous practitioner in Kalyani Court. I told you I had many cases, individual cases I had. So I used to practice and I used to study and I used to mix with the assistant public prosecutors over there. Whenever I had time, whenever I got pleasure time, I used to go to the assistant public prosecutors there who were posted there. They were also very ambitious. They were thinking of appearing for higher judicial service and all those things. They're very ambitious. So I used to speak to them. I used to discuss on different topics with them about these things. And when I came back home, I used to study the books, and I used to take the problems up to them to get the problem solved by them also. They used to solve some problems. They used to make some chart to me that you do in this way, you do in that way. Okay, so I used to meet a lot with the assistant public prosecutors posted there, as well as I have a friend who is from Calcutta Police Prosecution Service. He's a KPP, Kolkata Police Prosecutor. I used to talk to him also, and in fact, I tell you that I spent a lot of time in studying at home, apart from my practice life at court. I didn't ever bothered about my cases that I have to run behind the cases. I didn't bother about that. I know that I have a practice, I have to do it tomorrow, and today I'll have to study if I have to earn a job. My first priority was to earn a job, and the second priority was to practice at court. I never waste a single moment in my life. And
So,
I want to mention one thing. I lost my mother in a very early age. When I was only 20, I lost my mother at that age.
I'm
After
so
that, I
sorry.
and my father encouraged me a lot to get the service also. He encouraged me a lot. When I used to come home, he supported me that you do this, you do that. I used to study at home alone. I spend my time with books.
So, what was that motivation when you
And
were
one thing
doing
that I want to mention that I used to take advices, positive advices from different people, from senior peoples. Like Agarwal sir was there, like few assistant public prosecutors were there, few judicial officers whom I know. I used to meet them. I used to take positive energies from them because negativity can throw people to negative sphere, but one will have to gain positive energy to get success. I
Yes,
used
sir.
to read newspapers. I used to read newspapers thoroughly. And one portion of the newspaper I want to mention to the aspirants that one should go through. In Times of India, there is a portion in the editorial column. We have the speaking tree. The speaking tree. It is a very important column. One a judicial officer posted in Kalyani Court. He told me to go through that, and I used to go through that regularly. Even I go through it regularly now also. It's a very inspiring one. We have to boost our mental health also in order to crack some examinations. Not only studies will help you to get to crack the examination, we need the mental strength also. It is very important. Mentally, we'll have to be strong in order to crack any service.
So, sir, did you clear this exam in your first attempt?
Yes.
Okay, sir. So,
And I used to tell Sir Agarwal sir, will I be able to clear the exams? I used to say, yes, definitely you will clear it because you have an urge to join the service. I said, yes, I'll have to clear it, sir. At any cost, I'll have to clear the service. I sat only in two government service examinations, one in the judicial service in 2010 and the other is assistant public prosecutor's examination in 2015.
sir, after this, once your mains preparation time was over, how did you approach the interview or the Viva exam that happened next?
And I was a bit nervous on the day of Viva. This day was practically a nervous day because during the day of my judicial service examination, during the day of my interview in judicial service examination, I was the last candidate of that day, last candidate. And during the day of my assistant public prosecutor's examination, I was the first candidate of the day. Just contrast. I was the first candidate of the day. So when my documents were getting verified in PSC, I was a bit nervous. And they made me sit in a hall. So I was sitting there, I was feeling a bit nervous. I was taking the name of God. I was gaining some positive energies by taking the name of God. I usually read Swami Vivekananda's books. I usually read, I go through them. So I was remembering his speeches. So then suddenly one called me that you have been called for interview. We entered inside. Three of the invisitors were sitting there. They told me, come, sit down, Mr. Nag. I sat and they started asking questions to me. First, a person asked me a question that state the preamble. I said I have to tell it by heart. He said yes. I narrated the preamble thoroughly. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign democratic republic. All this way. In this way, I have started. He said, stop. I understood. Huh. He said, why are you trying to join the service while you are in practice? I said, sir, the salary has become very lucrative in case of service, and there is a security of service. There is a security in government service. So he's saying that you are coming to join the service for security. I said, no, sir. It is one of the reasons, but it is also a reason that there is an adventure of practice also in case of assistant public prosecutor service. Then they put up some questions from my practical field. He said, how many cases you have conducted in court? Did you conduct 125 cases? CRPC 125 maintenance case? I said, yes. They gave a story. Now, after giving a story, they started arguing with me. Why not this? Why not that? Why not this? Why not that? I also started arguing. I also argued with them. Very with confidence, I argued with them. So after I came out from, I gave all the answers. I gave all the answers. They asked me that who was the then foreign minister of India, was the foreign secretary of India, was the chief secretary of West Bengal. If I know his name, who was the home secretary of West Bengal. At that time, Mr. Moladev was the home secretary of West Bengal, I remember. And Mr. Basudev Bandyopadhyay was the chief secretary of West Bengal. Huh. So they asked me these questions from general knowledge. I confidently gave answer of all the questions. And when I came out of the interview room after spending 45 to 46 minutes there, I was so much confident enough that I called my family, my wife, that I think I will crack this examination because I have been very much confident by giving my interview. And after the results have been published, I was very satisfied. I was very satisfied that I have ranked sixth in assistant public prosecutors. And even believe me, trust me, by the grace of God, I told my father that I'll be ranking within 1 to 10. The way I have written my examinations, the way I have faced my interview, I wish I would rank from within 1 to 10. And by the grace of God, it became true.
Sir,
And I
aspirants
was
often
very
face this. Sorry,
and I
sir.
was very much confident from within that I'll be cracking this examination. I will crack. I was very much confident within myself. I even told my relatives also that this time I will crack. No one can stop me. This time I will crack and my rank will be within this. And it happened by the grace of God and by the grace of Sir also, I'll tell.
So you were very confident, sir.
I was very confident. And I told you the reason behind this confidence is that I studied books on Swami Vivekananda, lectures from Colombo to Almora, and lectures on Vedic literature.
So
I've
most
studied.
aspirants are usually nervous during their interview or during their exam. So what would you suggest to them to get the confidence, the kind of confidence that you had?
No, now I want to advise the aspirants who wants to sit and write the examinations as well as they will face the interview in the future. So I want to tell them that don't be nervous. We should be very much calm and cool and mentally strong. The mental strength is very important to crack examinations, whether writing examinations during the main or during the preliminary or facing the interview. Mental strength is the most important factor that will differentiate you from a successful candidate that will differentiate a successful candidate from a unsuccessful candidate. It is the mental strength. It is the only thing. The mental strength is the only thing that makes the difference. Again, I'm saying the mental strength is the only thing that makes the difference. And another thing I'll tell, studying, though studying the study material is very important, but the other things that we need to grow within ourselves is that we'll have to study something good that will give us a good food to our brain, positive energies to our brain. We have to mingle with good persons. We'll have to mingle with persons who can provide us with encouraging words, inspiring words. Like I told you, Agarwal sir has told that you will crack the examinations. I used to gain positive energies from him, from some judicial officers, senior judicial officers, from some assistant public prosecutors. I want to mention you one thing. My sister, my own elderly sister, I frankly saying this. My own elderly sister, she told me that you will never be able to crack any examination. When I failed to crack the judicial service, when I ranked 50 in judicial service, she said that it is very tough nowadays to join government service and also PSC, UPSC. It is very tough to write the services. So you try hard for practice or some other private company services. But I didn't pay heed to this. I didn't pay heed to all these words because these are negative energies. These are negative words. There are many people who said, oh, what are you doing? Your age is growing, so you are not getting a job. These are all negative energies that will surround you. But we should not pay heed to these negative energies. And I'm sure that many candidates, many aspirants will have to face these problems. And they face these problems in their daily life. And they need to avoid this kind of people. They need to avoid this kind of company. One should make oneself isolated at least for 1 year or 1 to 2 years, and should mix with people with positive energies, should go to places where there are positive energies, should study books that provide us positive energy, that provides us inspirations, like books of Swami Vivekananda, books of Shiv Khera, Dr. Shiv Khera, I think you have heard his name.
Yes, sir.
That you can win. There is a book, You Can Win. Books of Dr. Raj Bapna, psychiatrist. I used to go through this. And I used to take advices from Agarwal sir, from different judicial officers, from different assistant public prosecutors. And they used to say, now or never, now or never. This is a good term, now or never. Either you will have to win now or you will never be able to win. Because I was at the threshold of my age. And I knew that I'll have to crack the examination. The mental strength that I got from my mentors, like Agarwal sir, some different senior persons, as well as the books of Swami Vivekananda, Dr. Shiv Khera. This provided me a lot of energy. And I really and I really want to say that I have avoided negative company. I have avoided the negative persons and the negative thoughts, as well as the negative advices provided by the negative persons. One aspirant who will sit for the examinations, who are thinking of sitting for the examinations, who are thinking to become successful in the examination, will have to avoid negative energies. And I'm telling you one thing, mental strength makes the difference between a successful candidate and an unsuccessful candidate. Because generally who sits for writing the examination, they have at least 80% of similar knowledge. But 20% is the difference of mental strength. One should not be nervous. One should be very much cool. There's nothing to be nervous. Those who are holding an interview, they're human being only. They have not come from different planet. We have to face it like that. And you are thinking that I'm saying this in such a way because I have succeeded. No. It is a fact. I mean it. I never feared anyone. I'm a God-fearing person. And this is the truth.
Very motivational, sir. Sir, despite this extremely motivating journey, suppose I tell you one thing that you can go back in the past and change. I give you a time machine. You can travel back in the past and change your preparation days. Is there anything that you would change?
One thing that I would like to change is that I would have not opted for the law course.
Why is that, sir?
My first choice was science and chemistry. I still love chemistry a lot. In fact, I do have friends, uh, a lot of friends who are from medical profession rather than having friends in legal profession. Because all my friends are from science background. Few of them have become doctors, and I mingle with them a lot. But by the grace of God, by the grace of Agarwal sir, by the grace of that elderly person who has been my first mentor, I told you, today I'm here. I have been successful, and by the support of my parents, my father, mostly my father. My father's dream was to become a lawyer. He used to think that I will become a good lawyer, one of the best subdivisional lawyers. But that dream didn't come true. But I will try myself to become a good public prosecutor at least, assistant public prosecutor.
Sure, sir. We all are
Because
hoping.
one thing I want to mention that one of my father's very bosom friend, he was an inspector of police. He himself used to study law for his own knowledge. He used to help me up with books. He has also a very vital role behind my studies. He used to encourage me, do this way, do that way. You study this way, you study in that way. You go for this service, you write in this service. He helped me a lot by mentally boosting me. Now, in the course of your journey, in the course of your life's journey, we'll have to face many positive as well as many negative persons. But we should avoid the negative things and take up the positive things. Now, how to avoid the negative things? We will not quarrel with them. We will listen to their words, but will not put them in our mind or in our brain so that it can affect our mind. It can affect our mental strength. I never think negatively. Even today, I think everything is possible in this world of possibility.
Thank you, sir.
Everything is possible in this world of possibility. Everything is possible in this world of possibility. There are few aspirants who think that my age has come to the threshold. I will not be able to succeed. I will not be able to crack the examination. These are all negative thoughts they are surrounded by. They must try for their till their last age, I think so. Till the last day of their age, they must try. And if they try properly, they will be able to crack. And Agarwal sir told me that if you try, you will succeed. And this is the truth. This is the truth. This is the mantra that I have got from Agarwal sir. That one, if one tries, one will be able to crack. When I first, you listen to me, when I talked over the phone with sir on the first day, I asked sir, will I be able to crack any exam? Sir said, everyone is cracking, why not you? But wasn't this a positive answer? This boosted me. Now, these are the small things that we should keep in our mind. These are the small things that will add energy, that will add positive energy to our mind, and will give a lot of mental strength. Again, I am telling, mental strength plays a very pivotal role in all competitive exams, whether it is the joint entrance examination, whether it is the government service examination, whether it is a law graduate examination in university or in college, everywhere it makes the difference. And if one practically approaches this, they will understand whether I'm telling the truth or not.
So thank you for telling us because this is helping us to believe the aspirants that even they are capable of doing it.
Everyone is capable of doing it because human beings sit for the competitive examinations from the earth, not from the other planets. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
No one is
Sir,
coming from the outside.
yes, sir.
We
Sir,
human beings are sitting for the competition. Aliens are not coming.
true.
So we'll have to sit. Everyone, everything is possible in this world of possibility. Have you heard the name of Gavaskar, Sunil Gavaskar? Sunil Gavaskar said that this is a world of possibility. Everything is possible. Even Sachin Tendulkar's record, even Sir Don Bradman's record can be broken. And you see, Virat Kohli is doing so. Everything is possible.
And sir, regarding your choice, if you could get a chance and you could, anything that you would have changed in the past, you said that you would choose law and you would have done chemistry. I just wanted to say, sir, that if you had chosen chemistry, I wouldn't be taking your interview and there wouldn't be so many people listening to you aspirants who are looking forward to being like you.
There is a history behind this.
It was a
I want
better thing to be in the present than taking up the other train.
no, I'm telling you one thing. I met one professor who was my sister's teacher in University of Calcutta while I was thinking of whether I'll be taking the admission in the law or I will take admission in the presidency college. When I was thinking, when I was in a dilemma, okay. So my sister took me to him. He said that being a lawyer, you will gain a social status. You will be mixing with different people. You will be able to earn your own earning, self-dependent. But if you study chemistry, you may become a teacher or you may not. That will be a degree of yours. He told me. He was a professor of physics of University of Calcutta. He told me that. And I remember his words. And this has come true because today, for that reason only, I have given interview to you. And I'm very much thankful to you for that.
The pleasure is all mine to take your interview, to be able to take your interview.
Thank you
However,
so much.
I've heard all these glorious phase of your life, the service that you enjoy, the success that you're enjoying at this point in time. Is there anything that you would like to change about the Public Service Commission exam? And do you recommend any change that should come in the way?
No, I think the way they are conducting the service, the Public Service Commission, it's the proper way. There is no problem in that. I don't think there is any problem in conducting the examination. The proper way. Everyone has given earlier before us from 2002. Those who have been sitting for this examination, they have gone through the same way.
Or,
The way
sir,
I've gone through.
any change to your profession or anything that you would like to recommend?
The one thing I like to recommend in my service life is that one thing is very frustrating. I want to mention you that we need a promotion. We don't have a promotion from magistrate courts to sessions court. So we are passing on from by the examinations held by the PSC. We are passing a tough examination. We are conducting prosecution in the magistrates court. So we must be given an opportunity to conduct prosecution in the sessions court also.
Yes,
This
sir.
opportunity should be given. This is a frustrating thing that I have. This frustrates me a lot, indeed. And promotion has started in different states. So far, my knowledge goes. In many states, promotion has started. I'm very much hopeful that in our state also promotion will be started very soon. I'm very much hopeful about that. I told you I'm a man of positive energy.
Yes, sir. That
I'm
you
very
are.
much hopeful that promotion will be started very soon in our state also. And we will be conducting prosecution in the sessions court too.
So there's a quick rapid fire round for you at the end. It's a light-hearted one. Sir, so I'll quickly tell you the options and you have to choose one out of the two. Books,
I can't get you. Yes,
books or handwritten notes, which one do you prefer?
books,
Sir, school or college, which one did you enjoy more?
school,
Smart work or hard work, which one do you prefer?
smart work,
Independent practice days or service days?
service days.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for the answers. It was a
Thank you.
great opportunity for me. Thank you for delving into the detailed discussion and sharing such valuable insights. I'm sure it will be a boon to all the aspirants. I'm very sure they'll look up to this video again and again because of the positive energy that you just gave us, sir. You made us all believe that if we believe in it, we can. Now,
Thank you, Shreyoshi.
thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Satyabroto.
you, sir.
Today,
Thank you, sir.
today I am, believe me, today I am elated.
Thank you
I
so
was
much.
so enjoying the entire conversation.
Thank you so much,
You
sir.
rightly brought out Swamiji's philosophy of life. Each
Yes,
soul is potentially divine.
yes,
And
sir.
you really made us feel that
Yes,
education is the manifestation of the perfection already
yes,
in
yes,
man.
Yes, sir.
And religion is the manifestation of the divinity already in man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Shottobroto, I was getting inspired and motivated by your talk today. I am
Yes, sir.
sure all the aspirants will be extremely encouraged and inspired by your inspiring thoughts. I cannot more than agree with you that a strong spiritual foundation
Yes,
is the
sir.
first thing which every human being must achieve in order to achieve great things in life.
Yes, sir.
Why great things? Even simple things of life.
Yes, sir.
So, Shottobroto, lessons of life are more important than
Yes.
mundane lessons of our day to day life.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Shreyoshi, through
Yes, sir.
your insightful questions, and Shottobroto, through your spontaneous and deep rooted answers, I am I am a better person after listening to the interview today, and I
Yes,
am
sir.
sure the students, the aspirants, and everyone who is listening to this will be a better person and will achieve a lot in life.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Be blessed and
Thank you, sir.
prosper more throughout your life. My
Thank you, sir. It's your
blessings,
blessing. Thank you,
Shottobroto,
sir. Thank you, sir.
to you and your child
Thank
and
you,
your
sir.
family.
Yes, sir.
Shreyoshi,
This is my
thank
child,
you
sir.
for your insightful questions. Now you may end the program with a vote of thanks.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for joining
Thank
in.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm very much thankful to you. Okay.
Sir, I'm grateful for giving me the opportunity to interact with Shotobrata Nag, sir. And thank you again from the bottom of my heart for helping us, teaching us, guiding us, and mentoring us in your possible way.